Guys, welcome to another episode of The Pulse, talking to cool people who are doing great things. They've got amazing stories. Steve Schirripa is one of those people. He joins us now on The Pulse.
Happy to be here.
Obviously, people know you for a lot of things, know you for The Sopranos, but how'd you get started?
Well, I'm from Brooklyn, and I graduated Brooklyn College. Played basketball in college 100 pounds ago. If you could believe that, and moved to Vegas. Eventually got a job in a hotel. I was a maitre d'. I worked with a lot of comics. Just about every big comic I've either worked for me or worked with at one point. And I started there. They asked me, hey, would you do this little bit thing I'm doing in LA? I'm doing this little film. I'm doing this short film. And never thought about acting, never crossed my mind. Never read a script. Went to LA. I know it sounds cliche, kind of got the bug almost immediately.
Huh.
Started taking some classes, dabbled in it like a hobby, couple lines here, couple lines there. Had an agent friend, said I'll look out for you. I would go to LA, audition, little parts, 2 lines. I was happy to have 2 lines. The more I did, the more I wanted to do. So I started trying a little harder, and this agent friend was helping me out, and came to New York for a wedding. And I had done some stuff. I've done a few movies. I did a King of Queens, Chicago Hope. So, you know, I knew what I was doing, somewhat. I'm still learning, and came to New York for a wedding. He got me an audition for The Sopranos for an FBI agent. She said, I don't see you as that. Read this. Roll a Bobby, and
the rest is history. So it really wasn't, that it was not as a young child I went to, performance school and the School of the Arts, and I wanted to, you more or less, you said you got the itch, but you stumbled into this.
Yeah, I tell people I slipped in through the back door. It kind of found me more than I found it. Had a good job, big house, 2 young kids. I was 40 years old by the time I got on The Sopranos, The first year, I paid my own way. They paid me no money. The agent told me not to take the job. I had to fly myself out, put myself up back in New York. I made 22 grand, and it cost me 24 to make it.
To fly back and forth, and you still had your job in Vegas.
I had a day job. The second season of The Sopranos, which was my first season, I flew back and forth. I did 6 episodes. I kept my day job.
And lost money.
Lost money.
Why?
Because this shot, then I got a taste of that. And I really I was hoping to become a series regular, and the following year, that's what happened. And then HBO moved my family to New York, and we've been here since, but that's how it was. It really was. I kind of fell into it, honestly. I had no aspirations ever, ever, ever. But I've been very lucky. I've worked as an actor for 25 years, 26 years. I've made a living.
Yeah.
I've done okay. I'm happy. I've had a good career.
So what was it about that show that made you say, I got to do this? I'll lose money to be a part of it.
Well, it wasn't so much the show, but I was by then disillusioned with my job.
Okay.
Even though it was a good job, a big job. I was booking acts, comics, Dennis Leary, Bill Maher, David Spade, Damon Wayans, D.L. Hughley, on and on and on, right? George Lopez. So I was doing this. It was a good gig. I was making good money. But I don't know. There was something I didn't want to do it anymore. So I was hoping once I got on The Sopranos, if I could parlay this into a series regular gig. And then, listen, I took a cut in pay my first year on The Sopranos.
From the casino, your big time casino job.
Riviera Hotel and Casino. I was making good money. I took a cut in pay to be on The Sopranos.
What was your family saying at this? You're married with kids with the big time corporate casino job and flying back and forth, taking a pay cut to be on a TV show. I'd love to be a fly on the wall when you're trying to convince your family of that.
I didn't have to. It was my wife that convinced me.
Okay.
Right? So when I had to go back for the audition, originally, I didn't want to go back. I don't want to spend the money. I said, I got to fly myself back, put myself up. And my wife was the one that said, do this. You're only happy when you're doing this. That's why you work hard. Go and do it. She was all in.
That's amazing. So when did it change your life? You were already living a good life financially, but the success of The Sopranos, huge ratings, people started making, like, how long did it take before that changed your life?
I don't know if it ever did change my life, besides kind of financially. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I always knew a lot of people. In Vegas, I could do whatever I wanted, any show, any restaurant. I had that wired. In Vegas, especially the old days, more than now, it worked on the barter system.
Yeah.
I got what you want, you got what I want. I always kind of had that part, but it changed my life. I met a lot of lifelong friends on the show. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like playing for the Yankees, living in New York and being on The Sopranos. I mean, it was kind of like you walk into a restaurant, 2 or 3 of us, and they giving you a standing ovation. It was crazy. So that was all new. Going to the Emmys, going to the SAG Awards, all of that stuff. And I didn't love every moment of it, but that was different. I still got my childhood friends. I always tell people I'm just a regular guy with a good job. I kind of lived the same as I always lived. I was able to take care of have a nice house, a nice apartment, and my kids through college and all of that stuff.
Did it surprise you that a show with that foundation, The Sopranos is about the mob, interacting in the mob, had that kind of love and support and kind of hero following for the people who were in it?
Which is the whole, $1 million question. So the audience chooses to root for these bad people.
Yeah.
Guys in the mob are bad people. Okay? Mm-hmm. They murder people, they shake each other down, they rob. They don't just do it to each other. They do it to civilians. So people that think it's fun and games and this is a joke, it's not a joke. Because I grew up around that world, right?
Yeah.
That's the $1 million question. Why does the audience sit at home and love Tony Soprano? He does everything bad. Why? Because of the writing, because of the acting, that we have this love for this anti-hero for sure. I don't know why.
I read that there were times that you guys on The Sopranos had to remind people that these are bad people, and people started becoming too sensitive to the characters, and then you would have somebody do something that was so like, oh, okay, this is in fact the mob. You can't be too much of a sympathetic person.
Well, the only guy on the show that I could say was authentic was Tony Sirico, Paulie Walnuts. Mm-hmm. It's no secret that he was kind of a peripheral mob guy. He did time in jail, and he was a legitimate tough guy, legitimate. The rest of us were acting.
Right.
Uncle Junior couldn't be, he's so far away from that guy, as is Michael Imperioli, as is Jim Gandolfini. Mm-hmm. Jim was a Birkenstock wearing, music loving,
crunchy granola guy.
Not a tough guy. I mean, a strong guy, mm-hmm. but not a wise guy type guy. Grew up suburbs of New Jersey, we had incidences where people, they think they're joking and they'll go, oh, don't kill me,
right.
Which is so ignorant. But I did have an instance. I lived in Little Italy in New York for a couple of seasons. I'm taking my dirty laundry down to the dry cleaner. Neighborhood guy stops me. Oh, Steve. Yeah, what's going on, Rock? His name was Rocky. Hey, man, you know I love the show, but anybody who's ever killed anyone knows that's not how you do it. Oh, okay, Rock, I got to get going. So Michael had an instance. A guy was showing him how to strangle somebody with a piano wire. And people did and do get mixed up. You get that, but I guess that's, people are very invested in your character. And they're at home, you're in their living room, and I guess that's just part of it, There's another thing that's a pet peeve for a lot of actors. Oh, you're not even acting. That's you up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, why don't you try to play you on TV? With 200 people watching and cameras in your face. See how that goes.
Coming up next, The Sopranos aired in the early 2000s, but it's actually making a comeback even now.
All these kids have discovered this show. The show holds up like it was written today.
I guess it was COVID when you started the podcast, you and Michael Imperioli, talking about all of this kind of behind the scenes.
We started the podcast, before COVID. We had the idea and we were all set up to go. Then COVID hit. And we both looked at each other and said, we're supposed to start this thing. Who gives a crap about The Sopranos? The world is coming to an end here. Honestly, we were both very depressed. Michael was in California. I was in New York City. It was a very depressing time, not just for me and him, but for the world, right?
Yeah.
I know it was for me. And we did it, and it struck a nerve. People were at home. They got much enjoyment out of it. We tried to make it as enjoyable, funny, silly, and informative as it could be. It was a huge success. We went through every scene of every episode, and we had almost every cast member, director, writer, casting person, producer.
And then that kind of grew into this tour, In Conversation with the Sopranos.
We continue to do the show, with Vinny, without Vinny sometimes, and we tell behind the scenes stories. It's all kind of comedy driven. We have a comic. He opens up the show. Then he's asked us prepared questions, and we tell funny behind the scenes stories. And we show clips of the show, slides, clips, Q&A, meet and greet. And if you're a Soprano fan, it really is, you don't want to miss it. We're going to be November 8th at the Rivers Casino.
Here in
me,
Philly.
Michael, and Vinny. It's going to be a good night. If you're a Soprano fan, I'm telling you, you'll enjoy it. And some great stories. Michael wrote 5 episodes. He was there from day one. Vinny was there from day one. I came on, second episode, the second season. So, we got a lot to talk about.
Does it surprise you that this many years later, you still have this kind of hunger for these discussions or to see you guys or to come to the shows?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. But, what we discovered like during COVID was all these younger kids that were too young to watch it the first time around. So we know that there's kids in their late teens, early 20s that are watching the show now. Social media wasn't as prevalent back then. Now with Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok, all these kids have discovered this show. The show holds up like it was written today.
Yeah.
Of course you got the computers and the cars, but otherwise it's not corny. Some shows and you watch it now and you go, man, that's a corny show. How did I like that? This is not that. This was so well written, so well acted, so smart, that it is popular and gaining more and more popularity. I think more people watch it now than watch it then, because back then only people with HBO watched it. Now it's streaming. It's all over the world.
Coming up next, from hardened mobster to soft dog lover?
I have a very famous wiener dog. We have a book coming out in April called Willie Boy Eats the World.
You've done other things. Tell me about this. Who's Willie Boy?
I have a very famous wiener dog. We have a book coming out in April called Willie Boy Eats the World. We just started making videos for fun with no expectation, and I guess the world took a liking to Willie, and so I feed him. He eats anything. We've got millions of views, and he did an episode of Blue Bloods. I was on Blue Bloods for 9 years, which I loved because you played a mob guy for 7 years, and now you played a cop for 9 years. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed that, 146 episodes, and we were lucky they cast Willie as my dog on Blue Bloods.
You were on Blue Bloods longer than The Sopranos, but was it hard to sit there and play those things that are polar opposites, or are they?
After The Sopranos ended, it ended in June of 2007, I got cast as a suburban dad in a series called Secret Life of the American Teenager. Mm-hmm. That was very important to me. That bridged the gap, because then they want to put you in a box. You're only just a mob guy. Now look, I'm not going to play an English professor, all right? But I can play a blue-collar Italian-American. There's Italian-American dentists, doctors, foot doctors from all walks of life. But of course, you have a vowel at the end of your name. They want you to be a mob guy. A couple of years or so later, I got cast as Anthony Abitamarco, a blue-collar, old-school cop. It was not hard. I enjoyed it. A lot of cops stopped me in the street. I asked them, "Do you believe me?" And they said, "Very much so." And really, when you think about it, you're on the screen, you're watching a guy. Do you believe him or don't you? But I got a lot of compliments from the NYPD and really cops from all over the country, fan mail. So I enjoyed that tremendously.
Next on The Pulse, obviously the mobster was just a role. Steve, the guy, is all about using his voice for good.
Try to stay positive and just be nice.
The theme of the show is use your voice for good. So when you hear the phrase use your voice for good, what does that mean to you?
I do a lot of charity stuff that I believe in, quite a bit. It's a small charity for ALS I'm very involved in New Jersey. They have my buddy Phil Cuzzy, Major League umpire. He has a charity for years. Everybody's volunteered. Nobody makes any money. I try to do positive stuff on social media. I try to do positive stuff with my dog, Willie. He makes people smile. And that's all that matters to me, Try to make people feel good. The world is in a rough place right now, man. And try to stay positive and just be nice.
Yeah.
When I raised my two daughters, I never said I want them to be the smartest, the best athletes. It didn't matter to me. Me and my wife said, let's just make them be nice people. Everything else will fall into place if you're nice.
Guys, thanks so much for watching this episode of The Pulse with actor Steve Schirripa. If you're a Sopranos fan, you're fascinated. If you're just a fan of people who are out there working hard, overcoming obstacles, pursuing their dreams, then you also probably enjoyed that discussion. I hope you did. I know I did. You can hear the entire unedited version, all places where podcasts are available. Just go download the Pulse with Bill Anderson podcast. You can follow us on Fox Local, get all of our episodes on demand, and you can reach out to me on social media at Bill A. Fox 29. I appreciate you always, and I leave you today as I always do, reminding you whenever you can, use your voice for good and have a good one.